Alright, today I have the one and only Jason Bizzarro Flame Yoon joining me at the end of what should have been day one of Apex. It's been quite a long day. It's like been a turn of emotions. How are you doing today, Jason?
I'm doing fantastic tonight, Ashcon. Thank you so much for asking. It's been hell of a day today. We've been through trials and tribulations as a community, and so this taught us one thing, and one major important thing, and that is that whenever the melee community is faced with trials or tribulations, we always overcome it. Always. There's never been a moment in melee history where we haven't overcome something. We always overcame it, and we always came back even stronger. That is why we are so strong as a community right now.
It's pretty good words. I guess like the biggest upset for you and me maybe is that the fact that Kage isn't making it to Apex anymore and he had to cancel in the Salty Suite. You are going to be playing against Eichelman, but do you have any words for Kage? And how do you feel about Kage not showing up?
I'm gonna say this right now, whoever's watching. Kage is a damn fraud. He is a fraud. First of all, at EVO 2014, he and I made an agreement to do a money match for $100, and that would have been streamed and that would have been recorded. But no, he did not appear. He did not appear. He canceled out at the last moment. Similarly, for this tournament, Apex 2015, the day before the actual tournament was supposed to start, he just updates his Twitter, just trying to hide his intention of not going by just sneakily putting in his tweet that he feels sick. Just a sick Johns, and I do not accept that, John. It is not legitimate whatsoever, Kage. It is not. So therefore, I challenge you to come to a national or regional NorCal or even like a California tournament in order to do another Salty Suite with me, or something like the Salty Suite.
That's very good. You're often pretty soft-spoken outside of the game. Is swagging with Ganon a kind of way for you to let out that excess aggression that you have?
This is a question that almost everyone I know who is in the Smash community asks me. And you know what I say every time? Every time I say that in real life, especially as an aspiring lawyer, I have to put on a face of respect 24/7, especially during my job. And that takes a toll on me. That really takes a toll on me. I have to pretty much put on a mask of respect. And this just causes so much containment of feelings. So much containment. It's a feeling of disrespect that's building up in my heart. It's building up in my feelings. And then every time I go to a tournament, I just take a deep breath of fresh air and exhale. I'm just like, who the heck is ready to get Jiffy Cat and disrespected down to the ground? That's why I say to myself every time I enter into a tournament, in order to relieve my stress from my job and from law school.
It's pretty great. And recently, you've gone from like a player who, instead of like going from styling, you've been getting a lot of pretty good upsets recently. And what do you think has helped you the most in the past few years to be able to get to this level where you can actually upset some of the top players in NorCal?
You know what? It is the power of Jiffy Cat. It really is. Because especially on stream, or especially if it's a recorded match, people are so afraid that I'm going to style on them and that they'll be the victim of Jiffy Cat, specifically on reddit.com / Smash Bros. That is what makes them fear me. That's what makes them fear me. Therefore, they always tend to DI away whenever I try to do a combo. And that's why I do a reverse psychology by just doing a regular fair or a strong, powerful bear in order to trick them into DIing into their death. So that's one of the major factors recently that has made me be able to be more successful in pulling off upsets and placing better in tournaments.
I guess the main question is, this weekend, are you going to be going more for the Giphy Cats or the Chalonge results?
This weekend, or rather yesterday, I swore to myself that I'll go for the total challenge. Challenge. No pun intended, but the total challenge. I told myself, this is the time for you to shine, Bizzarro Flame. Bizzarro Flame. It is time for you to evolve into Bizzarro Flame. I will not only disrespect, but I will try my best. I'll try my best to eviscerate all my foes within one flick of the control stick and A downwards with the control stick, which will equal stomps. And I'm not gonna go for those up tilts or warlock punches because those are just pity moves. I'm going to give my full 100%. I'm going to wreck everyone that's in my way in bracket and the salty sweet against Eichelman. This is for you, Eichelman. This is for you.
Are there any last shoutouts to anyone you'd like to give before we end this interview?
Oh, I would like to give a shout out to Pew Pew 2. You know, like Pew Pew 2, he's been an amazing training partner. You know, he has come from the year 20XX as a Fox main because he realized that Fox is the best character in the year 20XX. And that's why he switched from Marth to Fox. And therefore, he has erased his memories of melee whatsoever in order to erase his bad habits. Which is why I'm here to teach him all the good habits and eradicating any possibility of him picking up any bad habits in order to prep him for 20XX, where he can win Evo 9 straight times in a row. Let's hear it for PP2. Let's hear it for PP2, everybody. Let's give a hand to PP2. And that is all that I have to say for you. Thank you so much for watching.
All right. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in this interview. Just follow this channel, Showdown Smash on Twitch, and hit the subscribe button for Showdown GG on YouTube. We'll catch you again later with another interview.